Welcome back to the F122 McLaren career mode. We are on round 6 of 16. We're over the quarter-way mark already and approaching on the halfway mark by the end of today with only a couple more races left. To that point, I'm apprehensive about the weather here at Canada, to be completely honest. The car is getting better and will improve yet further still post-Canada. I do need to change my MG UK after practice, so that's something I need to be aware of. We might even change the energy store as well, although the energy store should be alright. I'm not sure at what point it's not alright. Obviously, the Baku Grand Prix last time out was a farce, really, to say the least. So we find ourselves having won that Grand Prix after 7th, 5th, 9th and 6th. But I'm expecting Canada to be a bit more straightforward today. That said, it depends on what the weather's going to be like. Of course, if you missed the Baku Grand Prix, there was plenty of action before it all went to shit. There was 3 safety cars and interchangeable weather conditions. And it wasn't until after all of the safety cars that actually it balked itself a little bit. Okay, interchangeable conditions again then for Canada. Dry the majority of the weekend. Then we start the race dry and we'll end it dry, but there will be rain in the middle. Oakley dokely. How far have we advanced? Oh, nobody, intriguingly. Nobody other than Williams and AlphaTauri and Aston Martin have improved here between Baku and Canada. That's interesting. Red Bull ever so slightly, I think, there, but that's intriguing. We find ourselves basically level with Alpine, so again, we're expecting to be the 4th or 5th fastest car on track, and hopefully that can help us get some decent points again. And with interchangeable weather conditions, as ever, who knows what can happen. I'm going to dive into practice and get going, and hopefully you guys enjoy. If you do, drop the video a like, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more, and there may or may not be something else coming Formula 1 related soon-ish towards the end of the month. I shall say no more. Right, let's go to Canada, shall we? See you in a second. So, Lando's let me down there. Just over 1,000 resource points there. It takes us over to just over 2,000 total. I wonder if there's anything we can do with that. I'm not sure. My tyre wear here, according to practice, is actually very good, which is weird. I'm not sure how that will actually pan out in the Grand Prix, but on the graph in the tyre management practice program, I had significant tyre wear advantage, so I've no idea what's going on. We might be actually absolutely banging. We'll wait and see. Certainly expect to get through to Q3 though, so we'll go out at the end of the session and just whack in 1 lap. Shortest run to the line for Q1. Need to be wary of that first curb around the chicane. That is one that can significantly damage the underbody, so we'll have to be careful of that. Didn't do any damage there though, and that should be us through to the next session. So we shall retire from session and we'll be comfortably through to Q2. But I'm not as competitive lap time wise as I thought I might be. 1:11.8, but Sainz with a 1:11.3. I don't know if I've even gotten a 1:11.5 in the locker, let alone a 3. So we might be actually starting further back and having to use that tyre wear to our advantage in the race. I did have a poor exit of the hairpin on the last lap. So we've got a 1:11.5 in the locker because that's what we put in for our first run on worn tyres. But it appears that might be the limit of my talent, although we've just done the chicane very well indeed, and we'll actually do a 1:11.3. It's a 1:11.292. Hello? A 292? Oh, we might be competitive here. Again, though, expect the other drivers to step up later in qualifying in Q3, and I think there was a 1:10 in there. There was a big jump actually, so I'm still 5th. But I'm 3 tenths ahead of Lando. 3.5. I feel competitive enough, but again, in race pace, we are always slower than we are relatively speaking to the front running teams. we qualify better than we finish, so to speak. 111.4 is Lando. I don't actually know what I'm on for here. Shortest run to the line. We're going to do a... Oh, nearly so close to being in the 10s. A 111 flat. Oh, by 0.03 of a second, we don't quite get into the 10s. That was a great lap, though. Once I eventually put it together. Ooh. I'm pleased with that. Now, where did we finish in the end? Because there might have been people behind us that didn't... that still had laps to come in. There was indeed. Oh, Sergio Perez to the millisecond. 1 minute 11 seconds. That is a P4 start for us here in Canada. Now, the intriguing thing is going to be, what is everyone going to do tyre-wise with the expected rain? Are the other drivers going to start on mediums and hope that they last to the rain and then not worry about a pit stop? Or are they going to go soft, blitz it as fast as they can and hope that they only need to do one stop before the rain comes? That's what I'm intrigued by. With regards to the weather forecast, it looks like the rain is going to come right towards the end of the race, which would say to me it's probably a medium soft and then rain. But if I can make the mediums last and save a pit stop, then that's probably the better way to do it, I think. Especially given my supposed, according to the practice session, decent tyre wear compared to the expected. So the deciding factor will be what everyone else is doing as to what we do. I wonder if there are any penalties. We are a few races in now, and the AI aren't necessarily great at managing their car parts. So we think we're going to be fourth, as Huzzy subscribes. Thank you very much indeed, Huzzy. Appreciate it. We will be fourth indeed. Lando P8. Don't think there's any penalties in there. Then is there none that would affect us anyway? So, what tyres is everyone going to be on? That's the question we're asking now. And once we know the answers to that, we can plan our own attempts. Why is Stroll P20? Come on, Lance, this is your home Grand Prix. You've got a podium here before, pal. What's everyone else doing? Mediums and softs behind. I thought that might be the case with regards to front runners on mediums. I thought, to be fair, the whole grid would go mediums. But those behind running softs to try and catch up. And then those at the front just trying to make mediums last.
Points on the board. Let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish.
That is the plan, pal. Well, that's what we'll do. I think the rain will come before lap 45, but whether it comes before lap 30, I don't know. I can, on the formation lap, ask the... I don't know what we were like fuel-wise, actually, but if there's going to be some rain, I can maybe underfuel a little bit. I can, on the formation lap, ask my engineer what the weather's going to do. We're on a good side of the grid here as well, although it is the dirty side, as the racing line, as you see, is on the left here. But we will have an outside line for turn 1, meaning we should have an inside line, in theory, for turn 2, which is this one. Let me ask about the weather.
No threat of rain for the time being. Conditions look good. Dries definitely seem like the fastest tyre at the moment.
No threat of rain at the minute means it's at least 20 to 25 minutes out. Again, don't expect to have the pace to the front 3 teams in race pace. So we'll wait and see how this goes. Rear tyres are suitably warmed. Rear tyres will wear a lot quicker here than front tyres as well. So we might, it's certainly a rear limited circuit, so we might find that our rear tyres actually overheat a bit and wear a bit too much, and that might be what decides our pit strategy as well, overall. Here we go. I'll try and park as straight as I can. Here we go.
Superb parking there, mate.
Bam, by the millimetre almost. Right, Canadian Grand Prix. It's about 71 laps, isn't it, I think, the Canadian Grand Prix. Just over 70 laps. It's a very short lap, which is done at quite a pace, so will be one of the shorter Grand Prix of the year. It is 70 laps. Here we go then, 5 lights on. Checo got a good start there. I'm having a bit of wheel spin, but we've held our position at least. And like I say, we'll have the outside line here. We should have the inside for the next corner. Max dove up the inside of me there. I thought I might have a bit more room to actually go up the inside of him, but he did very well on the brakes there. Brave, as you might expect Max to be, and just lunged it and hoped for the best. So we're down to P5 at the start, but that's, of course, perfectly manageable. Nice traction here that is a killer for me sometimes. I am going to have to use my battery intelligently throughout the course of the lap as well, and already you can see that in a straight line we are struggling. We've been able to hold off Leclerc for now. I'm hoping that my tyre wear will come into its own here and their tyres go quicker than mine, but I'm going to have to make sure that I don't abuse my rear tyres to ensure that that tyre wear does work in my favour. And wait and see how this pans out. As long as I can stay within DRS range of those in front, I'll be happy, but you can see how they're extending down the straight there. Hopefully, at some point on the track, we're actually faster than them.
The car behind might be struggling with fuel issues. See if you can increase the gap.
Oh, okay. That might be a factor then as well as to why we're not quite as fast in a straight line. Other cars might be underfueled and be slightly lighter than us. I was already out of DRS range by the time DRS was enabled on those in front, annoyingly. But if they're that much faster than me, then it's not really much of a surprise, is it? Definitely better on exit of the hairpin than the others, but they are just kind of DRS training away from me here. But Leclerc isn't getting past because I'm decent, he says, as Leclerc comes for me now. Because I'm decent out of the hairpin, I'm able to keep a relatively decent gap to Charles. Go deep on the brakes here. There we go. Still able to maintain the gap behind without having to go too defensive and lose too much time to those in front. Lewis has now definitely caught up. He's well within touching distance now as well. This is going to be a tight one, because if tyre wear eventually comes into my benefit, then we might start reeling them back in again. I think what is also confirmation that the McLaren isn't great in a straight line is that whilst I have at least two cars behind me in some sort of train, if you look at the mini-map and look at Lando, there is a massive train behind him forming. So Lando Norris also doesn't have great straight line speed.
Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 5.7 seconds. Right, we think the car behind might start to have fuel management issues. Let's see if we can use this to our advantage over the next few laps.
Well, I'm not worried about his fuel at the minute, mate. I'm worried about where he is on the track, and he nearly got me there, Charles Leclerc. Lewis Hamilton is right with him too. So if Lewis starts having a go at Charles, that might allow us a little bit of a reprieve, but at the same time, I might be in a position where Lewis gets me at the same time as Charles Leclerc if they do end up overtaking me on track. We're keeping those in front honest, but we're certainly not going to catch them at any point at this stage with things as they are. Again, it depends on our wear. 12% all round, basically, after 8.5 laps.
Someone's come off ahead of you.
Yellow flag in front.
Flag ahead.
It doesn't look like it's a retiree, or is Russell going slowly? He is. Not only is he going slowly, he's retiring. George Russell is out of the Grand Prix. Well, that's a free position.
The track is clear, green flag.
We're up to P4. Now we'll see if the Red Bulls have got what it takes to get past Carlos Sainz, which is something that George Russell wasn't able to do. Or maybe, now he's not looking in his mirrors quite so much, Carlos Sainz might be able to just disappear down the road a little bit. Now he's given the advantage of free air and not having someone within DRS range behind him. It's a really intriguing strategical battle this Grand Prix so far. And with the rain factored in as well, I don't think anybody could predict how it's going to end. Yellow flags. Safety car. Safety car deployed. Not sure what for. Oh, the Alpine has lost it. That's what the safety car's for. It's Esteban Ocon. He's come out of the chicane and just dropped it. Is he able to continue? I think the safety car's come out because he's sat there just gone incognito almost. But I think he might be able. He might be able to continue. I don't think he's actually out of the race. Now I have a decision to make. Do I pit and put softs on and try and make it through until the rain, or do I stick on these mediums? Or even just a fresh set of mediums, because I might want that other set of... I might want the one set of fresh softs I've got. Oh, they want to go soft medium. Okay. The team want to go to softs. The team want to go to softs, so I will go to softs. Because it's what the team recommend. Let's see. Red Bull are going to be double stacking as well here. We could jump one of the Red Bulls in the pit stops. And we have. We're out ahead of Max Verstappen. They've gone to mediums. That's intriguing. They've gone to medium tyres. The team recommended I went to softs. So we are now going to be softs until the rain. And then we'll be on medium tyres at the end when they will be on softs. This might either work for me or against me. When did the others that ran their softs stop? That's what I want to know. Lap 13. Their softs went 13 laps. But we've got less fuel now. So our softs might last slightly longer. 14 or 15 laps. And then we pray for the rain. It's a gamble to have gone softs. My instinct was to go to mediums, but the team called softs, so softs we've done. Do a rain dance in about 9 or 10 laps time.
Safety car in this lap. Let's make sure those tyres are up to temperature, and remember, there's no overtaking until the timing line. Stay in position until the green flags.
Tyres are indeed up to temp-ish. Get those front ones up. But my tyres will warm up quicker than theirs will. Sainz not gone yet. Once he goes, I need to be ready for it though. I'm not sure if we're going to have enough. We're off. I'm sure we're going to have enough straight line speed. But on the soft tyres, we're going to give it a go here. Up the inside of Sergio Perez. That's P2. Now there's going to be no DRS, of course, for 2 laps after the start of the, or restart of the race. It is definitely getting more overcast though, isn't it? For sure.
Okay, this is good. You're catching the car ahead.
I want to hope for enough of a spell on these soft tyres we can make the most of them, and then at the same time, we want them to not... We want to not be on them so long that we start to lose performance. The team told me to go to softs, so I did what the team wanted. Hopefully they think, or they know, that these tyres will last. Purple Sector 1. I'm already over a second ahead of Checo. These softs are going to come into their own here as soon as I get DRS, I hope. But I don't know as I'll be able to pull away from Carlos Sainz. But between us, we might be able to drop Sergio Perez. I don't know if DRS alone is going to be enough to help me stay with Carlos Sainz. I hope so, but I'm not sure it'll offset much in a straight line. Keeping an eye on that delta top left, and no, even with DRS being this far back, he's still extending on me.
5 minutes until rainfall expected.
5 minutes till rain. Fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Right, we're with Carlos Sainz here. I'm having to use a lot of battery, but DRS and a slipstream, and he's still pulling away from me even when I'm only 3 tenths behind him. Oh, we're kind of holding with him then. Now all I want to do at the minute is pull away from those behind. I'm not bothered necessarily as we set another fastest lap of the race. But Lewis sets it equally.
6.2 seconds.
Lewis then beats me. I'm more worried about pulling away from those behind to try and ensure the chance of a podium than I am staying ahead of, or trying to get ahead of Carlos Sainz to give me the chance of a win. It is really greyed up now though, as you can see. Oh, they actually think I can extend. So, okay, so my tyre wear is good enough on these softs. They think I can extend by a lap, which is good news. But we obviously are not going to get as far as that by the time the rain comes. When it does fall, Ferrari will either double stack or Charles Leclerc will do an extra lap on dry tyres. So we are on for potentially a decent P4 here. If, of course, at the end, if we're fast enough on intermediates, and also if we're fast enough on the mediums at the end of the race compared to these guys on softs. I'm not sure it will be, to be honest. Temperature's dropping, and weirdly it's actually making us more competitive on softer, more worn tyres. And a mistake from Carlos Sainz is going to gift us the lead. As rain starts to fall, I just saw drops. Rain is here. The rain is here. Now, Carlos will get me down the straight, and I'm absolutely okay with that. But by Sainz making that mistake, and me having to battle then with him to get through there, it's actually brought Checo and co a bit closer, which is annoying. Carlos thinking about going for it, electing not to.
Okay, track conditions aren't improving. It's your choice as to whether you want to fit full wets next time you come in.
Full wets? Checo just took Sainz into turn one. Sergio Perez just absolutely sent it on Carlos Sainz. I'll have a look at that again. Checo just properly went for it. And nearly took me as well. Actually, the Red Bull being past the Ferrari, I don't think it's going to work in our favour. And now being the first driver on track, I've got a decision to make as to when I come in for tyres. In a minute, I'm happy enough. But I do have Inters set as my next set, so when I pit, it will be for the Inter tyre. It's just a case of when.
Radar showing a clear patch on its way. There's about 10 more minutes of this rain.
Oh. A clear patch on its way? Does that mean we just straight up aren't going to get... Does that mean we're just not going to get enough rain for intermediates? I might have scuppered myself then. If it doesn't rain enough for intermediates, then the decision to go to softs now for this stint might have been the wrong one. But it equally makes it just as important to try and extend this stint as far as possible, because then, it seems, I'm going to need the mediums I put on next to last me to the end of the race. Every lap at the minute is just earning me, and every lap... Start that again, shall I? Every lap at the minute is just earning me one lap more at the end of the race. See puddles starting to form. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I am torn at the minute. They are in.
All right, we're getting very close to
Checo is in.
Now, stay out if you have the pace, but as soon as you hit the limit, come in and we'll put the Inters on.
I still don't know if I'm losing enough time though. I think I'm able to hold these at the minute. That'll be a brave thing to say. We'll see what happens with the gap to Checo. Because at the minute, I'm not losing much time. I don't feel like I'm losing that much time. Or certainly I'm not losing that much grip. They will catch me. Probably. But I'm just going to put mediums on. And I don't know if they're going to have... Well, they'll have a set of softs to go to. We've made this set last about 20 laps. So they'll be able to run softs to the end. How long till the rain ends?
It looks like the weather's going to dry up in about 5 minutes' time. Dries definitely seem like the fastest tyre at the moment.
The dries definitely aren't the fastest tyre at the moment, but they're also not significantly slower. See, Alexander Albon is still on softs. I'm not the only one to not go to intermediate tyres. This is fascinating. Both the Williams are still on their dry tyres. So I'm not the only one that's going contra this here. Both Williams are also not pitting for wet tyres. So I've taken a risk, and Williams have taken a risk, and we'll see if it works for me and if it works for them. They're pitting again. They're pitting again.
Be careful you don't burn out your tyres.
Are they going to dries? If they go to dries, they're on putting their softs on. Time for medium tyres.
Is 17.4 seconds.
Position third when I come out. And they're going to be on softs and I'm going to be on mediums. And with no DRS, now that's going to work against me rather than for me.
Try not to push the tyres too hard. You're probably losing some grip at this point.
Well, here we go then. Final stop onto a set of mediums as Charles Leclerc picks behind me as well. He's going to hards.
That was a fantastic
So
stop.
does that mean it either means that he doesn't have a fresh set of soft tyres, or it means that those that are currently on softs are going to pit once more, and a lot of the others have gone to mediums. So I think maybe those that are on the softs at the minute might have to pit again, and they might not last. They should last. They should last, but whether they will or not, I don't know. Mine certainly did. I will ask. I'll ask my engineer whether he thinks their tyres are going to go to the end or not. We're right behind Checo now, so we have come out behind. I imagine their softs will go 25 laps. DRS enabled again, just as I'm out of DRS range of Sergio Perez. Time to use battery.
Okay, the stewards have now enabled DRS. DRS is now online. It's Perez ahead of you. And gap to the car in front is 1.0 seconds. They're on fresh softs. Their tyres are just 1 lap old. We think they've got one more stop.
Ah!
Last lap's
Ah!
1 minute 19.2.
Those that are on the softs are going to stop again. I just need to stay within 1 pit stop of Sergio Perez, and we are going to win back-to-back races. And this time, it's on merit. With fantastic strategy. If I can just stay within a pit stop of Sergio Perez, which hopefully I should be able to do if I can latch onto someone's DRS. We might be on for a podium at least, if not perhaps, potentially, another win. Leclerc must have gone to hards because he didn't have any he might have only had 1 set of fresh softs remaining. He might not have had the tyres. So he's had to go to hards to ensure that he can make the end without having to put on a terrible set of tyres. Lewis is not quite... He is going to go for it, you know. I didn't think he was going to go for that. He did in the end. But we've been able to hold position. Now he and Carlos Sainz are coming, and I'm going to get stuck a bit here. Okay, I don't mind Lewis going through. Because now the plan is to just stick in his DRS. All I've got to do is stay within a pit stop's distance of them. And hopefully we'll get a win. Obviously they will pit for another set of softs that they'll be super quick on.
Okay, information on Sainz. Okay, they're slowing down. It seems like there's some kind of problem with their car.
Carlos Sainz again has an issue. He had an issue in the last Grand Prix as well. I can't remember if it was last Grand Prix or the Grand Prix before. I think it was the last one. But that issue might only be DRS. It might only be that his DRS isn't working. If he has some sort of ERS issue, then he will be slower in a straight line. Still only 3.7 seconds to Checo. I think I'm genuinely, at the minute, I think we're in with a shout of another win. Leclerc is actually past Sainz. So Sainz's issue is more than just a DRS fault. Verstappen is now past Sainz as well. Carlos Sainz's car is letting him down for the second race in a row. It's not going to be long before those soft runners pit again.
It's Hamilton ahead. Okay, gap ahead is 0.8 seconds.
Fastest lap of the Grand Prix.
Old softs. We think they've got one more stop. And the time last lap was a 1:13.7.
Yeah, so I'm 3/10 a lap faster than Lewis while sat behind him. Although obviously that's with DRS. That gap to Checo is plummeting though. 2.5 now. Earlier this season at Imola, my tyre wear was what had me really worried and had me I had to run a poorer strategy because of it. Lock up from Lewis. And P2. We inherited the lead from Carlos Sainz because he locked up. Now Lewis Hamilton under pressure, right behind his gearbox there in his DRS for the final chicane, and he bottled. Lewis Hamilton couldn't deal with the pressure on him from behind. And now with P2, now the question is, can I continue to close that or reclose that gap down to Sergio Perez again? They're in the pits. That is Sergio Perez pitting now for another set of soft tyres. I imagine Lewis behind will do the same. Indeed he has. Now I expect myself to be on the top step, providing I can hold off hard tyre wearing Charles Leclerc. I expect the Ferrari to be P2 behind me for the rest of this race now. I don't think those soft runners are going to catch up.
Lando's in the pits. Lando in the pits.
We might be. We won't get the fastest lap point. There's no way with them putting fresh softs on. But I'm hoping that we're fast enough to keep Sergio Perez at bay for the rest of this race. The gap is 14 seconds with 12 laps to go. Will Sergio Perez, in this strategic masterpiece, potentially from us, potentially from him, who's going to be the genius? I'm probably more concerned about Charles Leclerc at the minute than I am Sergio Perez. Charles Leclerc is fast on those mediums right now. Very fast. Sorry, on those hards. And my mediums are only going to deteriorate faster than his tyres are. As Checo sets the fastest lap of the race and is now 11.2 seconds behind. But at the minute,
Hamilton has just put in the fastest lap of the race so far.
at the minute, Perez would have to get through Leclerc to get to me. But I don't think Charles is going to be behind me for much longer. The way he's gaining on me on the straights, I think we might be P2 after not too much distance. And then I have a funny feeling Sergio Perez may well catch me before the end. And we might be battling to hold on to a podium rather than holding on to a win. Gap to Charles Leclerc, 0.5. Gap to Sergio Perez, 10.5. 10 laps to go. I would probably put a bet on me finishing third at this moment in time. Charles is going for it. Charles Leclerc leads the race.
Try to stay with them. They might make a mistake and we could still regain the position.
I don't have an answer for their straight line speed. And his tyres are continually going to maintain the fact that they are better in condition than mine. My tyres are only going to get worse compared to Charles Leclerc. As you can see there, almost all 20% now. I tell you what, if I were this close to him on the last lap, I'd bloody go for it as well with all my battery. We might still be able to get the win. The gap to Checo has hold. Hold on, brain. The gap to Checo has held at about 7 seconds for about a lap and a half now. I think their soft tyres are going off. This is now a straight fight between myself and Charles Leclerc for the win of this Grand Prix. I really like the fact that the Williams also didn't pit for wet tyres. If it had been just me that had not pit for wet tyres, I'd have felt like I'd kind of cheated the system again. Not quite as much as we did in Baku, but I'd have felt like we'd cheated the system again. But the fact that I wasn't the only one that made that strategy call, and the Williams did it too, almost legitimises my decision and the way that we went about it. I mean, they're 17th and 19th, but they are in Williams's, so it's obviously not worked super well for them. Do I wait and risk it till the final lap and hope that I can get it done? Or do I try and get it done a couple of laps from the end on, say, 68, and then try and hold him off? Because if I balls it up on the final lap, that's it, no reruns. I know I'm faster coming out of the hairpin. I'm going to have to use that to my advantage. And then I've just run wide there. Dickhead! This is what I mean. If I leave it to the last lap, I might not get it done. Have to push this braking zone a bit. I'm not close enough. I'm not close enough. It's going to have to wait till the last lap. I need the lap of laps to go for the win here. I need to be within 4/10 of him-ish. Coming up to the... coming out of the hairpin, I need to be within...
Okay, this is your final lap of the race.
Within 3/10. Within 4/10, I think. Must be quick enough through this chicane. I think I was. Ah, the win is there if I can just get this right. This is it. Give me that DRS. I don't think I'm going to have it. I'm not going to have enough. Oh, Charles Leclerc, you bastard. He's going to hold me off by a matter of 3/10, less than 2.5. Charles Leclerc, in the battle of strategy, it was the car we didn't even consider that gets the right one done. Charles Leclerc, driver of the day. We thought we were in a battle with Sergio Perez, but on pace and strategy alone, with no BS, we are able to get a P2 for McLaren today, which is huge for us. George Russell retired, yes, but I think we would probably have had him anyway, just as we did Lewis and Checo and Carlos Sainz, although Carlos Sainz had an issue, Lewis had an issue as well, but we beat both the Red Bulls on pace and strategy alone. And that is us, with our second podium of the season, the first legitimate podium of the season, and a chunk more points. And we might even be closing in on those above us. I don't know if Charles Leclerc is really that high up the standings at the minute. I think he might be P3 or 4 in the drivers' standings. So it's shaky bottle time once more. I won't do it again because it's a little bit cringe. But we're on the podium there with Charles Leclerc. I tell you what, his head and overalls are quite good absorbing materials, aren't they? I did have the fastest lap of the race. That last lap was the fastest lap of the race as well, as I spent all of my battery trying to close him down. We missed out on the win by 0.218 seconds. Leclerc goes from 7th to the win. We go from 4th to 2nd. And unfortunately for George Russell, he went from pole to DNF. Carlos Sainz was P2 to P6 with his issue. Lewis finishes P5th as well. And it closes us into within a point of Lewis Hamilton here. And of Sergio Perez as well. If we can continue to improve the car at the current rate, we're not with. I don't think we're with a shout of a championship, but maybe we can be in the podium positions for the driver's standings. Right, we're doing weight reduction. We're doing tyre wear. Weight redistribution is probably worthy. Engine power I'd like to do but can't. Fuel efficiency I'd like to do but don't necessarily need to. I'm always nervous when it comes to fuel. Downforce. Let's do the rear downforce. And then let's also do the weight redistribution. And energy store don't need to worry about. Gearbox. ICE maybe. I can't afford anything there. MGUK. I have had to change my MGUK. How many MGUKs do I get throughout the season? 3. I'm already on my second MGUK. We're in fact on our second everything other than the control electronics. And we'll soon be on our third ICE as well. I think I'll save those 748 resource points for now. And see what happens in case any of these fail, actually. Like that. And that's where these extra things will come in handy. Disagreeing will get 500 resource points. I'll take the resource points, please, because now we can go and improve on those 2 things that failed. Pit equipment is up. That's good. I've only got $50,000 though, so I've got no money I can spend on my driver perks. I guess I would earn money via the Pirelli Hot Lap stuff, but I'm not doing that. Right, let's go and redo those that failed then. So that's that there. 512 for that, 6 days. And the ERS, 380 for that. So I've only got about 100 more than I did before, so I'm not going to bother. They will be done for after Austria, probably. Next up is Silverstone, then it's Austria. And then Belgium, Netherlands, Italy, Singapore, USA, Mexico, Brazil, Abu Dhabi. We're currently P5 in the driver's standings. That was a thoroughly tense but enjoyable Grand Prix. And next, it's my home and the team's home Grand Prix. Join me for it. Do drop the video a like if you've enjoyed, of course. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more. And I will see you in the next one in a couple of days' time after a Southampton video tomorrow. Ta-ta.